Namaste, everyone. This weekend being a special weekend, let me take this opportunity to wish one and all a very happy Onam, happy Eid Milad, and happy Teachers' Day to everyone from Heartfulness Institute. As we celebrate National Nutritional Week, today's session is focused on nutrition for all, building health across generations. I, Divya Thota, on behalf of Heartfulness Institute, welcome all of you. And let me introduce you to our eminent speakers. We have Dr. Trupti, Anandnath. Dr. Trupti is the founder and director of Ojas Ayurveda and Nutrition Clinic in Bangalore and is a nutrition advisor to the Indian Air Force Boys Sports Squadron. She has 24 years of experience with expertise in diabetes reversal, weight and thyroid management, PCOD, stress management, child and pregnancy nutrition, and sports nutrition. She is the recipient of multiple awards, including We Lead Achievers Award in 2019, Emerge Women's Achiever Award in 2022, Navodayan of the Year Maharashtra State in 2022, and Swakruta Entrepreneur of the Year in 2024. She is also appointed as advisory for diet and nutrition by RV Institute of Management for Unnat Bharat Abhiyan and Rural Immersion Programs in 2022. She is driven by a vision to create nutrition awareness for better health and sustainable well-being. Welcome, Dr. Trupti.
Thank you, Divya.
Let's introduce our second speaker, Ms. Janki Rana. Ms. Janki Rana is a sports and clinical nutritionist with dual master's degrees in sports nutrition and clinical nutrition, along with masters in pharmaceutical sciences. She specializes in gut health, diabetes, and hormonal health, bringing a unique integration of scientific research and practical application to her work. Ms. Janki has worked with cricketers at the Mumbai Cricket Association, helping athletes optimize performance and recover through evidence-based nutrition strategies. Beyond sports, she supports individuals managing chronic conditions, designing personalized plans, the diet plans that promote sustainable health outcomes. Welcome, Janki Rana Jain.
Thank you so much for the introduction.
So, as we all know, that we are celebrating National Nutrition Week, the first week of September. So today's session is focused on nutrition for all, building health across generation. So I would be opening with a question for both of you, actually, to begin with. What does good nutrition mean to you beyond calories and diet charts? Especially today, we would like to share it with everybody. What exactly does good nutrition mean? Dr. Trupti?
Yes, Divya. For me, good nutrition is a balance of the nutrition which gives you a benefit of a physical health along with that mental health. So generally, we talk about uh, carbohydrate, protein, and fat. We never talk about the micronutrients. So I think it should be a balance of macro and micronutrients both, and that is a nutrition in true sense for me.
Awesome. How about you, Ms. Janki?
Completely agree with Dr. Trupti. But nutrition is also beyond macros and micros. I think Dr. Trupti will agree with it that when we introduce food to a kid or introduce food to someone, they always have an emotion connected to it. They have a relation with food. Maybe me, if I have been raised eating only Gujarati food, so when someone introduced me Gujarati food, and I will always have that homely emotion with it, a sense of connection with it, a sense of comfort with it. So when we talk beyond calories, it's the relationship with the food along with the macros and micros that we always talk about: carbohydrate, protein, fats. So it's a relationship with your food that goes beyond calories.
Absolutely, Ms. Janki. amazingly collaborated. Again, it's a balance on both the side. Dr. Tripti touching the technical aspect and the need, and also the attitude and emotional aspect, the comfort aspect which comes through food, is covered by you. So my next question would be for Dr. Tripti. Let's start with the nutrition for women, Dr. Tripti. As givers of life, they undergo so many physiological and psychological changes throughout their journey. How do you think food habits play a role in supporting women through these stages?
Yes, wonderful question, Divya. When you talk about a woman, it starts with menarche and ends to the menopause and afterwards. So, in a menarche, and always when you go to the doctor, either you have mood swings, you have PCOD, or you have fibroid, cyst, hot flashes, everywhere you are told that it's a hormone imbalance. But nobody tells ki how it has come. So ultimately, that hormone imbalance comes through the food. So now talking about the menstrual cycle, we are seeing almost more than 60% of the women they have PMS at certain point in their life menstrual cycle. So if somebody is going through PMS cravings on a day 14, that shows there is a estrogen dominance. Okay, if somebody is having mood swings, depression, anger issues on a 20th day, that is because of vitamin B1 and vitamin C. If they are having cramps during the menses and cravings, again it is because of the calcium and magnesium deficiencies. If it is during the after the flow, that is the iron deficiency. So this is throughout the menstrual cycle. And if you want to correct it on a basis of estrogen, you can take iodine supplements like sea kelp, or that is the main thing. Then second thing, when there is a B deficiency on a 20th day, that time you can include more of green leafy vegetables and fermented food like sauerkraut. Then calcium and magnesium also again comes from the green leafy vegetables. So you should include these things. Then you move further. Where comes the PCOD? We always talk about the PCOD, but what is root cause of the PCOD is insulin resistance, and which is because of the high carbohydrate diet. And we are always told to eat small meals at a frequent times, but that is given in a condition when you are in a growing age. But once your growth is like done, at the age of 21, that time if you keep on eating multiple times, that is not go well with the body, because that time your growth is stopped. Your body requires food only for the maintenance. And in case of PCOD, if you see, uh, one is insulin resistance, and again you are spiking the insulin again and again, and that leads to PCOD, one of the cause, and obesity, or all those things. Because if you talk about it, it's a huge topic. So again, inositol is a very important nutrient in case of PCOD. Then when you talk about fibroids or cyst, there comes this estrogen dominance again, and this happens because of lot of sugary food in the diet. Okay, and then next is a menopause, where there is a hot flashes comes in a picture. So it has been observed that in many cases vitamin E is a very important factor in case of the menopause, because vitamin E has a control over these hormones. So ultimately, if you have to conclude about the woman menarche to menopause, all these hormones are uh, getting impacted because of the nutrients, and nutrients come from where? From the food. So definitely we can work on that. So if I had to give a simple tip for people who are going to the menopause, their very important role is played by the hormones, which is controlled by your hypothalamus. And there comes the meditation. So that plays very crucial role when you're in a menopause, along with all these nutrients. So because if you calm, see, ultimately control of the hormones is taken with the brain, pineal gland. So if you want to have a control over there, meditation plays a crucial role. So because of that, in each of my patient, when I give them a regime, food, medicine, supplements, there in their regime, heartfulness meditation goes for each and every patient of mine. And I think this is what I feel for women nutrition is important. Hormones is completely driven with the food.
Thank you so much, Dr. Tripti. It's amazing how you covered not just the foods, you actually demarcated the vitamins and the micronutrients which are needed at every stage. Also incorporated a very essential aspect towards the latter part of the woman's life, that is stress. So thank you so much for addressing it so beautifully. Um, and definitely, yes, I agree. Meditation keeps you anchored. It keeps you balanced, and lets you be yourself in much more vibrant manner. So thank you so much. Coming over to you, Ms. Janki, building on that, let's move to the very beginning of life. You just have a little young one in your home, and so during pregnancy and a mother's diet, what is the key role in the baby's growth as well as the mother's diet? How does it affect the nutrition effect, and what does the mother have to eat during the pregnancy and continue to eat so that it is influenced on child's health even in the later parts of the stages?
So think of it as growing a plant. When you are trying to grow a plant, you make sure the best sunlight is given, the best, the soil is fertile, the soil is rich in nutrients, the water is good, everything. We make sure that it's the best given for the plant's optimum growth or the best quality of the growth. So just like that, when you're growing another life inside, it's very important to give the essential nutrients required for its growth. Very important when it comes to folic acid. It helps the kid to develop well. Omega fatty acid helps the development of the brain of the kid. So what you decide, what you eat during the pregnancy just doesn't help the kid develop, but also helps you to determine his or her future. Because if you're eating well, if you're not eating a lot of junk food, if you're not eating a lot of processed food during those times, it will just help your kid to have a disease free life in future, a healthy growth in future, and of course the development of the mother as well, because it's literally growing another life inside. So very important for the mother's health as well as the child health to have these essential nutrients, especially protein builds. We all know how much emphasis Mr. Modi, our Prime Minister, has given to protein, bringing revolution in different food by fortifying it with protein that helps every tissue in your body to grow well. So it's very important to eat well, eat in balanced proportions to avoid hypertension, to avoid diabetes during pregnancy, because eventually you're going to pass it to your future generation. So when you're growing a life inside you, you're not just eating for two, but you're eating wisely for two generations. So that's how important it is to eat healthy during pregnancy.
Yes, thank you so much, Ms. Janki. Indeed, it is a very important step that a mother is making by taking decisions, like you rightly put, avoiding the junk and processed and incorporating things which are rich in folate and omega-3. Thank you so much for the insight, Ms. Janki. Coming over to you, Dr. Tripti. As the child grows, especially during school and college years, nutrition starts shaping not just the body but also the mind. How directly does food impact on the student's focus, memory, and overall academic performance, as well as their body's uh, active zone or attention span? How does it help?
Oh, this is a wonderful question. This is I definitely like to take it. So basically, when you talk about any performance, either it is work performance or academic performance or any performance for that matter, being a housemaker also, so you should be physically and mentally. It should be a balance of physical and mental health. Then only you can perform well. So if you have to balance physical and mental health, your food is a fuel for that. Okay, we are always taught or we are always hearing about food is impacting your growth, but we are never taught that food is impacting your mental health. Okay, so nowadays if you see, there is many kids, they come up with the attention deficit disorder. Okay, so why this happens? This is because of the nutrient deficiencies in that. So nutrient deficiencies, how it happens? It will not happen like that. So there are three causes of the nutrient deficiencies. First is either you are not having a nutrient dense food. Second thing, there is no good absorption. Or third thing, you are having more of the junk and starch food and more of the sugar in a diet. So these are the three main causes of that. And when you talk about this attention deficit disorder or for any other nutrient deficiencies, so this impacts directly to the mental health. Like for example, vitamin B1, B2, B3, B6, B12, these are directly related with the concentration, then how you perform, your anxiety, your depression. And what happens generally, we try to give as a mother a wholesome meal to our kid. So we should understand one thing which is very very important: when you are giving a good healthy food, along with that, if your child is having this junk food, okay, so what happens, this vitamin B1 specifically, it get exhausted in absorption of all this processed food, and because of that you don't get the requirement of your day, and you are exhausting it. And as I said, these nutrients are directly related with the memory, concentration, on all those things. And because we are not able to provide them, so generally what happens, we give them just an example, we give them breakfast where we give milk and egg. But if it is very very important as a kid, whatever meals they are having, three major meals, breakfast, lunch and dinner, it should have all the nutrients. Their very important role is of the vegetables and salads and fruits that provides lot of micronutrients to them. Okay, and ultimately again, if you have to absorb the B vitamins in the gut, there should be good gut bacteria. And when they eat this sugary and junk food, this gut bacteria get impacted. So their food is not the junk and processed food. With that, they get ill, sick, obese, and they are not able to perform well. So I think this impacts a lot in a kids. So along with the nutrient dense food, we have to make sure that we are not giving them junk food. Then only it can be sustained, and then only it can help them grow physically, mentally, all together. So make sure just include green leafy vegetables 100 grams every day in their diet. It is a must. Then give something like a sprouts for vitamin C, then give fermented vegetables for vitamin C again. And good prebiotic is again comes from the fermented vegetables, like a fermented cabbage and all those things. So if you are able to make a balance between uh, carbohydrate, protein, fat, along with that, this every meal is having salads, that will give them a almost complete meal, complete nutrients to for them, and avoid the junk as much they can avoid.
Thank you so much. I love the way you touched a very important aspect, that is simple starch, along with the sugars, because usually sugar is the villain, but it is simple starch and simple carbohydrates, which is also part of the problem causing in the processed foods, the French fries and chips and all of these junk. And I love the way you pointed out the gut bacteria. It's very crucial to have right absorption in the body, to have good gut microbiome. And I'm glad you covered the prebiotics for that. Thank you so much, Dr. Tripti. Coming on to you, Ms. Janki. My next question for you would be food habits within a family shapes a child's relationship with the food from an early stage on. Could you share how parents and even grandparents, for that matter, influence whether a child grows up with a healthy or unhealthy connection with the food in their life?
So parents and grandparents, while a child is growing, has the biggest impact on their food eating habits. Example, if parents are watching TV or looking at the phone while eating, kids will be the first one to adapt it, and then they will be hooked onto phones, cell phones, TV, and they wouldn't eat without that. And this is what we are seeing rapidly growing. That without phone, the kid won't eat. They have to watch something on the phone, and then only they'll eat. The same goes when it comes to grandparents. Well, when I was a kid, I was always said, finish the food what is on the plate. No matter how much stuffed you are, you have to finish it. In fact, they used to overfeed us as well. So that is one thing where the child doesn't focus on hunger cues later. he or she will start overeating, or he or she will not understand that this is how much I'm supposed to eat. Then later we have to teach them again in the adulthood that this is overeating, or maybe the obesity is growing rampantly in India. So that is where it comes, grandparents and parents role, where they help them understand the relationship with food. It's like their mirror. They are going to model exactly what you show them. So very important for parents and grandparents to be alert and aware about what right food or eating healthy food is. Even when the child is growing, and if he or she will say that mujhe chocolate khana hai, I want to eat chocolate, the grandparents will just have a melting a soft corner for them in the heart, and they will offer me isko khana hai, khila dete. Even when today's generation parents are trying to make them aware, but still that sugar in the food or processed food and everything is eventually going to cause more harm than good. So it's very important for parents and grandparents to teach the right information about food, help them build a right relationship with food, which will eventually grow them into a healthier individual. We also say that if a person if parents are, or if the father or mother is into army, the child is always going to be disciplined and grow up something on the similar path. So just like that, whatever you're going to be, whatever you're going to teach them, or you're going to model, they're going to mirror. So it's very important for the parents and grandparents to make sure from the childhood that the kid has a right relation with food, so their future is much more healthier. So it's an investment in your future. The right nutrition is an investment. Ultimately it's going to compound. So that's how important it is to teach parents and grandparents about the right food choices.
Mm. Thank you so much, Ms. Janki. You're very right. I can completely relate with all the clients that I deal with as well, that the emotional eating happens because that is the reward that they have got as kids. And that is where the whole link does not fit in right. Thank you so much. It is beautifully put in. So our next question is to Dr. Tripti. We often talk about food as fuel for the body, but increasingly research shows that food is also fuel for the mind. In what ways did nutrition influence not just our physical health, but also our mental and emotional well being?
Okay, Divya. So this is a good question for me. So when we talk about food and mood, so there comes the gut bacteria, which is almost 1.5 to 2 kgs gut bacteria are there in a small intestine, and there is the highest number of the nerves after brain lies into the gut. So what happens? There is a bidirectional connection between brain and gut. Whatever happens in the gut, that impacts brain directly. uh, so if you ask, serotonin, dopamine, GABA, these are the enzymes, these are the hormones for a brain health. They are secreted by the gut bacteria. These are neurotransmitters. So this gut bacteria, food for this gut bacteria is a fiber, and complex carbohydrate is the mainly food for this gut bacteria to grow, to work better so an environment for them is they can work well in this environment where they have a lot of this fiber and complex. But generally what happens in recent era, if you see, we are exposed to most of this junk food, sugary food, carbohydrate. See, basically what if you take in a normal way, for example, you are meant to do some work like a sharper object, a soft object, and you somebody has given you the sharper object to handle. How you are going to work with that? So same thing happens with the gut bacteria, but generally we don't see that whatever actually lies outside, that lies inside. So when you give such a food, such a processed food, for that matter, see like if you take a maida, and if you take a maida dough, and you take a ragi dough, so if you take a maida dough, it's completely rubbery and plastic. Elasticity is so high. Wherein your ragi dough is so simple to break it down. So if just compare that, if both things goes in, what will happen? And your body doesn't have knife to cut it, chop it, correct? So it's a very simple, just to show you the picture. If you are putting anything junk, that goes and sits in the intestine, and that impacts bacteria which are not meant to work with them. but still you are making them work with that. And because of that, they are not able to work with the highest potential, where we say, where we know certainly 90% is secreted in the small intestine. When they are not, there is no work friendly environment there, how will they work? So if there is no proper serotonin, no all these brain enzyme, brain hormones secreted properly, how your brain will work? So definitely it impacts in the form of mood, brain fog, anxiety, depression, all those things. So if you ask what is the solution for that, for example, if you are tired, if you are exhausted, if you are ill, sick, what first thing you do? You take a rest. So here comes the fasting aspect of it. And if you say in Ayurveda, every disease we used to say Langanam Seshtam Aushadam. So we have to do the fasting. Okay, so same principle now we are applying in a modern nutrition. So we are applying it fasting, intermittent fasting, keto diets, and all those things. So this is specifically designed to rest your organ so that it can work after a certain period of time with the highest potential. So first, fasting is the best option or a best remedy when there is a gut. And see, when you eat this all junk food, there is a lot of inflammation. When there is a lot of inflammation in a gut, there is inflammation. Uh, there is a high chance of getting inflammation to the brain. And once that happens, then you can see all these mental health problems. Okay, so first thing, as I mentioned, fasting is the first thing, then probiotics is the second thing, and then fermented food. These are the three things which you can introduce or which you can take in your diet to fix these problems before you get into any medications and all and all. First, eat less, like minimal meals, go for 2 meals, incorporate probiotics, and have fermented vegetables, eat lot of salads, and you can take some herbs like ashwagandha, or even you can include curcumin in your routine, so that will help you to reduce the inflammation. And that ways we can work on this gut inflammation and simultaneously on the brain inflammation. So this ways your gut and brain are directly related, whatever is happening. So for this, I just, when I go for a lecture to the schools and colleges, I give one exercise. I think that can be, that everybody can, whoever is listening can practice this exercise. So the way you feel is not same every day. The way you pass your emotion is not same every day, and the way you sleep is not same every day. So why this happens? You are the same person. Everything is same around you, your job, your work, your everything. But why this is happening? So if you take a diary and make a note, what I had today, how was my sleep, how was my emotion, and how was my mood. At the end of the 1 month, you can come up with your own list of the food which were making you what. And I think with that, there is no need for me to tell ki how your food has impacted your mood or mental health or sleep. So that is from my end, Divya.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Dr. Tripti. I love the journaling part because it is something that most of us always overlook. We even forget after the next day what we have eaten and what is bothering. We forget the reason, the actual reason. So, journaling, food 24-hour recall, and getting things in writing, you're bang on that. It'll help us immensely. Thank you so much for that, Dr. Tripti. Ms. Janki, this question is for you. As we grow older, life often gets busier and food becomes more about convenience than eating actually healthy and care giving nutritional food. How do the food habits we build in these years impact not only our physical health, but also our energy, mood, and overall well being as we age?
So, thank you for the question. Well, midlife crisis is real when you're not eating well, you're not working out well. So, according to the research, post 30, your muscle mass starts declining, your health starts declining. That's why the most common lifestyle diseases like diabetes, hypertension, obesity is so commonly, prevalent in our country. So it is very important that during your midlife you invest in your health. Now I'll say it like this: when you are 30, when you're in your late 20s, when you're in your 30s, 40s, you start investing, right? You start investing money, you start saving, you start building FD. Just like that, start investing in your health. Start eating protein rich food, very important. There is a major deficiency of protein in India, and most of us don't even understand that the second quality protein is not going to help us that much, how much the first quality protein like dairy, eggs, chicken, all these are going to help. So it's very important that you invest in your health in the right way. Midlife is when convenience takes over. Processed food, late nights, irregular sleeping patterns, stress levels, like ma'am said, it does impact your gut. Your cortisol hormone, your stress hormone goes up, and it's going to impact your gut. A lot of people are facing acidity issues because of stress. The most common thing, your cortisol going up, HCl secretion going high. And if you are going to invest well in this age, you're going to have a much more healthier older age, where you won't have to worry too much about hormones going haywire. Again, ma'am pointed it out very well and explained very well how menopause and your hormones, how they have an impact, and how your nutrition has impact on all this chaos. So it's very important that you eat well, so your old age you don't have to depend on medicines, but you have to be the one leading a healthy lifestyle, where you shouldn't be dependent on not only medicines but not even someone else. So very important to have a protein rich diet, or a diet rich in fiber, a diet rich in good nutrition, vitamins and minerals. Starting your calcium, if women over 30 should be considering calcium, you should be taking at least annually your blood reports to see that your D3 levels are in check or not, because a lot of us complain back pain ho raha hai, joint pain ho raha hai. The answer is right in your blood report. So eating a balanced diet is an investment for your future. If you invest well, you're going to earn the benefits.
Thank you so much, Ms. Janki. It's beautifully put by you. Absolutely, blood work is one aspect that is underutilized, especially in the midlife, when we know that, say, for example, vitamin D being less, it depletes calcium as well, and vice versa. So these are all answers at our fingertips if we utilize it, as you rightly put it. So thank you so much for that, Ms. Janki. I really enjoyed all the questions, and I have last one for both of you again. So it's a closing question. How do you envision building a healthier food culture in families and communities so that good nutrition becomes second nature for the next generation in our country?
Okay, so I think when you talk about the food or anything for that matter, it starts from you basically. So if you want to make, generally we always see as a parent, ki my son should do this, my daughter should do this, they should follow this. So first you make sure that you are doing that. And I think a bigger change what you can bring in a society is change in yourself. So I think we can start with ourselves, and when we start, we can carry forward to our kids and say like now we are a nutritionist or a dietitians or doctors, whatever we are in a profession, so where we are going, we have we have that a weapon where we can use it and we can give awareness to the society. And first, I strongly believe that being a nutritionist or a healthcare profession, you should be a fit person so that people should look up to you to follow you. That is one thing. So I feel yes, that is one important aspect of we can change this way. And I strongly believe like as we are talking about the nutrient supplements and all those things, hormones. So along with the food, without your mental health calming, without your meditation, you cannot achieve all these things. So your boss is your brain, and we can start working from the boss. If boss gives order, that way your health, your other organs will be working. So ultimately, I strongly support and I do practice heartfulness meditation. So I request all of you to follow this wonderful way of life, which can change your it can change whole scenario in your life. So do practice meditation along with the healthy food. That is from my side.
Thank you, Dr. Trupti, for such lovely insights. Ms. Janki, over to you.
Yes. So I agree with Dr. Trupti that the foundation is you first, and then the kids, the family members are going to follow it. And as a woman, we have very special role to be role model, not just for our kids, but everyone in the family. Fortunately and unfortunately, the cooking is under our control. So it's very important that we include everyone in the family, especially kids, boy or girl, to understand how the kitchen works. This is something what my mother taught me as a kid, that लड़का हो या लड़की हो, खाना बनाना आना चाहिए, और क्या खाना कैसे बनता है वो भी देखना चाहिए. So if you are teaching your kid, teach them how food is cooked, so they have a good they build a good relation with food, that eventually they will stop maybe eating processed food in future, and they are self-reliable to cook healthy food on their own. So it starts from you, and I think we are the super mothers, superwomen, who can serve them as a role model. Apart from that, it is very important when it comes to community setting, teaching in schools about nutrition. We are taught about mathematics, science, geography, history. Why not nutrition? Why not teach the kids young that if you're going to eat this, this is going to help you eventually in future. So very important that in community setting, the schools are taught about a special subject is taken only for nutrition, and how it impacts your mood, how it impacts your overall well-being and fitness. We see a lot of teenagers who are going into body dysmorphia, binge eating disorders, different eating disorders, which is ultimately impacting their mental and physical health. So if it is taught at the primary level, it is going to do wonderful changes in the society, and eventually we'll see kids and teenagers being healthy and having a very happy and healthy relationship with food in future.
Amazing, amazing insights, Ms. Janki. Absolutely. This is a very big responsibility as women, especially in our culture, that we carry forward. And as rightly put by you, that it should be incorporated in a younger age, maybe through schools or at home. This is the mindset that, not the protein powder, but the food comes first, and then we supplement. So this is an attitude that we definitely need to bring in, that how much right eating and balanced way of eating, along with how Dr. Trupti mentioned right mental state. So not having stress, practicing meditation, and as you had rightly put earlier, having a lifestyle which is sleeping early and exercising, because muscle wasting happens after a certain age. All of these aspects are very beautifully put by both of you. Thank you so much for such wonderful insights. We had a lovely time, and I'm sure our viewers are going to gain a lot of insights in regards to the practical tips, especially coming from both of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for
Thank
inviting
you.
us. It was a
Thank you
lovely
for
session.
inviting us. Thank you.